This is Jeff again here, 10917 Northeast Eugene Street. So this is the initial video we just did. This is the RV dump back end clean out here, kind of in the patio, back patio area. It's 3-inch ABS. That part of the reason I'm going through this one is the clean out, the initial main clean out on the right side of the home is directional. It forces you towards the street. You can't go backwards through it, unfortunately. So I'm going to try and see if I can see some of that pipe between the house and the clean out if I can here. And whoever's been living here has done a really good job, by and large anyway, of keeping the line pretty clean. There's mostly as it relates to grease buildup. And we do have some and right now I have no water running. So this is, we're getting a static look at the standing water here. That right there is the clean out on the outside. So you've got a pretty good belly here. Significant belly. Right now, when I rip the camera back right now, that water line is just barely pulling down below my camera lens. I've done over 25,000 sewer scopes at this point in my career, and a trick I learned years ago trying to gauge the depth of a belly. When you pull the camera back quickly like I just did there, generally speaking, when you've got about 2 inches or less of standing water in the line, you'll see that water line very easily pull down below the camera lens. In this case, like that right there, this thing is like looking like it's completely submerged. Like you've got 3 to 4 inches of standing water in the line here. Now my camera right now is kind of upside down. That's why the water is overhead there. Got a little water draining off at the moment. But this is also so, and at this point in my career, the average belly out there, most of them are not worth messing with. The only time I recommend repairs, by and large, these days on bellies is usually when they are right up against the home or underneath the house. And this one appears to be potentially both. I think this belly may actually originate in the crawl space area. Looks like it starts right about here. About 17 feet approximately. You can see that's when there is some water running. But you can see this is when my camera actually starts diving underwater. It's also where the debris at the top of the line starts. That's where the line is. You can tell it's had some moments in the past where at least partial, or not partial, but blockages at the very minimum occurred here and then broke loose on their own. Yeah, it's actually closer to about now you actually start hitting the standing water about 15 feet here. And if you don't try and chase out the entirety of the belly, if you only get part of it, even if it's a little bit, it'll often shift the belly to a different part of the line when you hike the line up, and you'll end up with deeper water somewhere else. So anyway, we're going to see where this is at here. All right, unfortunately this belly here starts well into the home. So if you go walking in through the front door and walk up the hallway towards the bedrooms, you've got your hallway bathroom. Immediately, directly across from that bathroom door is a bedroom door. Where my locate's coming in right now is smack dab right in that doorway frame. And I'm getting about 3 feet deep. The unfortunate part here is this is under slab foundation. That is something that does require concrete cutting. Otherwise, it would just be a crawl space style repair. So I did snap a photo of my locate wand sitting on the ground there, if anyone needs that, but anyone coming in here to do this should be relocating anyway. And it looks like it extends out to basically right where the clean out's out. I'm going to push just on the other side of it just to get a proper depth, get my camera straightened out. If I locate on the bend here, it'll probably throw my locator off a little bit. So this right here is actually the clean out So it dissipates off right here on this turn at about 28 feet. All right, this spot here is a bit tricky to locate. So if you're on the right side of the home, on the outside, on the right side of the house, I'm picking that locate up. I'm on the front yard side of the fence. You've got some fencing there that divides the front and back yard side of the side yard. My locate is coming in basically underneath that fencing. It's a wonky spot to try and locate, but that's, anyway, it's right at that fence line. It could be just before the fence line, could be just underneath it. Anyhow, I recommend another repair here from approximately 15 feet to about 18 feet. And that's one that obviously needs to be relocated. I can't locate a lot of it, or at least mark the ground, because a lot of it's under the house. Most of it is. You'll see my green X marking there. And when I pushed out further than that originally, where I thought we were at the clean out, I got around 2 foot 4 inches deep there, so you're going to be in that ballpark, around 2 foot 4 inches. And about 3 feet in the house. The house is built up a little bit higher than the exterior is. That's partially why you have that depth difference. Normally, as you make your way out, you usually get deeper, deeper, deeper. For instance, like in the yard area where the root intrusion repair is at, you're deeper in the front yard area than you are at the sidewalk because of how much the yard's built up. You're about 9 feet deep in and around where the trees are. By the time you get down to the sidewalk area, you're around 6'9". Anyway, after any repairs are done, highly recommend rescoping. And you want to do that when the trenches are closed, but before concrete is poured. You want to get everything compacted and ready for concrete pour. You want to load on top of the line, weight on top of it. That way you're putting the line to a test. Otherwise, everything you're looking at is in theory. And the last thing you want to do is rescope after you've poured concrete, find out there's another belly or an offset joint or something like that, and have to crack it all open again. So basically get it right up to the point where you're ready to pour concrete and then take a look at it. And for some reason, if drain cleaning is only done here to cut the roots out, for instance, you would still want to rescope that too, make sure everything was thoroughly cut out of there and the work was done.